Gamers, get out your parents' credit card and start buying Discord Nitro because Discord is getting sued by Genshin Impact. Well, at least that's what the media is kind of saying. There's a lot of titles saying Genshin Impact files a lawsuit against Discord, Genshin Impact sues Discord. All this stuff makes you think that Discord is being sued for money or something. That's really not the case. Just keep in mind that A, I'm not a lawyer, so this video won't be boring. B, I'm an idiot on the internet, so my comedy is going to be crap. And C, I have a confession to make. I skipped my law and ethics course in college, so this is going to be a little bit of a gamble. Now let's start off with a little bit of background. You probably know what Genshin Impact is, but basically there have been a lot of leakers that leak what's coming out in the game. So they either get it through some sort of industry resource, like maybe they have a friend working at Genshin Impact, or they get it through some magical ways. But basically they know what's coming up next in the game, and those Genshin Impact fiends love knowing what's happening next. And there's been a lot of these micro communities built. So there's this one here. This is the main one that we're going to be talking about. I'm not going to pronounce the first word because I'm going to butcher it, but it's called the WFP Discord server. It's abbreviated, but basically there's this one leaker called Ubatcha. But what has happened is that these leaks have started to get on Genshin Impact's nerves. Bro, we just spent 10 minutes thinking of that new character idea and you just leaked it to everyone. This is disappointing. How are we ever going to sell 90,000 microtransactions? So Genshin Impact has slowly started sending out DMCA takedown notices, which are basically remove this or you're gonna get sued. And those are always very nice. And this first happened in a Reddit post, actually. Reddit was getting a little upset because they got these takedown notices from Genshin Impact, but it didn't stop at Reddit. It went to our so sacred platform, Discord. In fact, Ubatcha revealed that Discord had issued a warning over leaks being posted on the WFP channel, the Discord server. Now, technically, there's probably some sort of law thing where it's like this leaked content is technically the intellectual property of Genshin Impact and it's not released yet, so they shouldn't have it, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? That's just legal stuff that none of us entirely care about. But the main thing I wanted to point out is that around 2 months ago, Genshin Impact was dealt with a serious blow when a major leak revealed the game's planned updates for the next 9 months. So it kind of makes sense that imagine, you spend however many millions of dollars developing stuff and you have basically your whole entire next year planned, filled with content, and someone leaks that 9 months. Of course, Genshin Impact is going to be very upset. Of course, they have full legal rights to do this, and Ubatcha, the main person we're talking about, the head honcho of the leaking community, publicly denied any involvement. But despite denying any public involvement, Discord got their legal subpoena. It's time to talk about this whole lawsuit thing. So is Discord actually being sued by Genshin Impact? No, that's not really the way I see it. I mean, as a normal person that doesn't understand law too much, when I think of someone being sued, I think, like Johnny Depp suing that Amber, whatever her last name is, I can't even remember. That's a lawsuit. That's what you think when someone's getting sued. However, Discord's involvement in this whole entire thing is actually through a subpoena. Now, if you don't know what a subpoena is, basically it's like a document that tells you that you have to show up to court. So let's say you witnessed a murder, then you would be subpoenaed into the court and you would give your recollection on what you saw at the murder. And the thing with subpoenas is that if you don't actually listen to them, then you could be in a lot of trouble. It's basically like the court's holding a gun to your head and saying, you must talk about this thing or we're gonna blow you up. So anyways, back on topic, Discord got subpoenaed by Genshin Impact, and the information that Genshin Impact wanted was the names, addresses, telephone numbers, email addresses, and IP addresses or other information within your possession of the Discord user Ubatcha. But that's really the extent of it. Discord's not being sued for money. They're just being forced to give information about a certain Discord user. And this does happen a lot, and I'll get into that kind of later on because Discord does have numbers on how many times they get subpoenaed. But let's just move on to the subpoena because there's a lot of funny boomer things that you guys might like. First off, they have evidence and they have little screenshots, and now these screenshots are actually faxed. So what they did is they screenshotted the Discord server, and they're in a whole bunch of other Discord servers, but not mine, unfortunately. Really upsetting. But you can see that they're on Discord. They screenshot Discord, and then they fax this, which is basically just like printing out the screenshot on paper, which I think is hilarious. I mean, I find it really stupid, but it just shows, and there's so many of them. It's just constant screenshots that are faxed of just a whole bunch of Genshin Impact stuff. Now, what do you think Discord's going to do, right? It's a subpoena, so they're kind of forced to give this information. Let's look at Discord's transparency report. Now, this thing, oh my gosh, what a stinker of boring information. But if we scroll down to information requests, we can actually see how many times Discord has been asked to provide information. So they have legal requests. They've received 1,450 pieces of legal process, which are just documents. And you could see that Discord got 485 subpoenas, and they went through with 411 of them. So things aren't looking too good for this Ubatcha guy. Now, if you want my opinion on the whole matter, unfortunately, this is the way the system works. Discord does have to give out this information. Genshin Impact does have the legal, they can do this. There's nothing too crazy that's really far far-fetched. It's just really unfortunate to see that, like, if you wanted to leak favorite parts of your game, then you would have to deal with a lot of legal consequences, which is really scary. However, a lot of this is really lighthearted because the outcome of this whole entire thing isn't as dark and sinister as you might think. In fact, it's probably turned out in the best possible way I can think of. Basically, Ubatcha made a statement. I haven't been directly contacted by Hoyoverse, which is the team behind Genshin Impact. I don't know why it escalated to this for just the Ubatcha account, despite how many people are involved in the community, but it seems like they decided to just go after the account with the biggest follow count. Now, Ubatcha learned a fantastic lesson today. Basically, companies don't care whether or not you're doing something at that current moment. If you're involved in the community and you're the biggest figure, you are going to be targeted because companies like making an example out of people to spread a message. Now, continuing on with the statement, the only notice I personally received was a warning on Discord in August, which did not state what content had to be removed. You may not share any content, blah, 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 so the Ubatcha account stopped posting on Discord in order to comply with the warning received. However, WFP as a server never received any notices. The avenue to contact the owner of WFP is different to my personal account, so the server continued reposting the leaked content as a news source, as did many other Genshin Impact servers. But WFP is stopped now due to the following events that we just talked about. Hoyoverse basically filed a DMCA subpoena referencing the post I had made before the warning in August, which was, the fax images that we saw. And since Discord did not explain what content needed to be removed, once again, Discord always being great with their details and making it really hard to figure out what's going on, Ubatcha decided to remove all content from themselves that could possibly be seen as copyright infringing. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle, where did this subpoena go? Does Genshin Impact now have Ubatcha's information? Are they getting sued? Well, Ubatcha has not received anything, nor has Discord even notified them if they shared any of their details, but either way, Ubatcha has been scared away hard enough where they're done. They're done leaking Genshin Impact. Now, this whole entire thing worked out exactly how Genshin Impact wanted it to. They basically wanted Ubatcha to get scared and to back down, and honestly, that's the only thing that would have happened. It was the most likely outcome because it's really clear that if you look at any other Genshin Impact leaking news, Genshin Impact tester reportedly fined $78,000 for leaking footage. This is rolling in the back of all the leakers' heads, and when Ubatcha learned that, hey, they might be the next target, they decided to call it quits before having to spend $78,000 for showing pictures of unreleased anime girls on video game. Now, we did a little bit of poking and prodding in the WFP Discord server. Once again, WFP, because there's no way I'm pronouncing that word, especially when I'm sick. But I did find this announcement from yesterday from Ubatcha, and basically, after much deliberation, they've decided to step down from ownership of WFP. Now, one final thing I want to talk about just to wrap up this video is the way this news has kind of been distilled. When I first heard about this, I heard Genshin Impact sued Discord, and I was freaking out. I thought this was going to be a slam dunk legal battle, but it actually turns out that it's just clickbait media that has kind of portrayed this notion. And the way that this whole entire thing is that the most accurate title would be Genshin Impact subpoenas Discord to find out leaker's identity. However, the word subpoena really does kind of kill the clickability of a video or an article because people don't entirely know what a subpoena is. You might know that it's some legal thing, and you might assume that if the title has subpoena in it, then you might assume that the whole entire article has kind of legal mumbo jumbo scattered across the whole thing, and it's just going to be a waste of your time. So these news articles unfortunately went the wrong way in the clickbait direction to completely misleading. So anyways, that's the end of the video. I'm going to rest. Well, I have to edit this video, obviously. Then I have to figure out the title. And then I have to figure out a thumbnail that also accentuates the title and makes it more clickable. Goodness, this is the behind the scenes stuff that it stresses me out every single time I make a video. Anyways, bye-bye. I love you. Mwah.